Destroyed homes, collapsed businesses, people in need of shelter and power and help after a powerful tornado hit Mineral Wells. Today at 4, Chris Lawrence is anchoring our coverage from Palo Pinto County. We're checking in with him and Richard Solomon on that damage out there in just a few moments. First though, let's talk about the weather that we're seeing right now here in North Texas. We've got meteorologist Cassie Hyder with us starting things off once again today. Some people seeing rain, some pretty strong rain, a lot of lightning out there and some hail. We even got some here at the station today.
Yes, we had a little bit of hail. It was small hail though, nothing severe across Dallas County, but we have had some severe storms, and obviously we've seen quite a bit of severe weather over the past several days, and some of the preliminary tornado reports have come in from yesterday, and we did end up with a EF-3 tornado in Mineral Wells producing up to 145-mile-an-hour wind. Rio Vista picking up an EF-1 at 90 miles an hour. There was an EF-0 in Cleburne, so 80-mile-an-hour wind max, and then there was one that was not rated in Bowie, so they're still figuring that one out. But also there was another tornado near Crescent. Now, right now, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of North Texas until 7 p.m., but it does not include Dallas or Fort Worth. Nonetheless, as we continue to see a few showers and storms this evening, some of those could become severe, especially south and east of the Metroplex, that could produce up to quarter-size hail. Right now, it's just overcast. Temperatures have not made it out of the 60s. We do have that one severe thunderstorm warning right over Athens. It is a very strong storm. You can see all that purple. There's certainly a hail core there. That is for Van Zant until 4:30, so another 30 minutes to go. It is moving off to the east. Here across the Metroplex, we're at least going to keep about a 20% coverage for a pop-up shower or storm, but I expect a lot of us will actually end up staying dry this evening. Overnight tonight, we're still going to keep that chance of rain. We have more rain over the next couple of days, but we're not expecting any more severe weather for Thursday and Friday.
Thank goodness we could use the break for sure. So, Cassie, we saw these tornadoes that ripped through North Texas yesterday. We knew that we were going to have a pretty bad day, you know, weather-wise yesterday. You were here all night for all of that. Was this as bad as we were expecting?
You know what, honestly, we were expecting a lot more coverage of the storms. We were at least fortunate enough that this was more isolated. When you look at these images, though, I mean, obviously there were so many people impacted that were not as fortunate, but at least we did not get as much hail as what we were expecting. These look like really big hail producers. We were expecting up to baseball-size hail. There was baseball-size hail, but that impacted a lot less people than what it certainly could have, what there was the potential for.
Sounded you know, quirks in the atmosphere almost, because all of the ingredients were there for it. It's just a matter of what does Mother Nature do on that day and where.
Exactly. That's the thing. It was very isolated.
Well, we know that one of the hardest hit areas where a lot of that weather did happen was in Palo Pinto County, where officials say that many homes and businesses, as you know from seeing all the footage and the radar out there, were either heavily damaged or destroyed. We're also getting new information coming in quickly today about injuries and the full scope of the storm. Our Chris Lawrence is on the ground in Mineral Wells today. That's about an hour west of Fort Worth to anchor our coverage there. Chris, can you just kind of walk us through what you're seeing out there?
Yeah, Jason, Cassie, we're about less than a mile from Highway 180, right off Van Story Road, and I got to tell you, I mean, seeing all of this damage firsthand really gives you a better appreciation for what these people survived. You can see all the debris here. These homes are all two-story homes, and the wind just sheared off the second story of the home and completely pulled the wall right out from under it. And I can tell you, I've been all through here. All of them are pretty much the same way. I want you to take a look at this. Right now, National Weather Service has investigators here on the scene right now. They consider about 28 indicators, like the type of building, the size of the tree, and then each of those indicators is rated along 8 degrees of damage. They plug all that into a computer, and that's how they come up with the wind speed of 136 to 165 miles per hour, or an EF-3. This afternoon, we're also learning a lot more about how many people were hurt in the storm. Here in Mineral Wells, officials confirmed that 5 people were injured as the tornado moved through, and paramedics rushed at least 2 of them to a hospital nearby. That's actually very fortunate given the fact that EF-2 and EF-3s make up about 1/4 of all the tornado-related fatalities. So to have no fatalities here is truly a blessing. Richard Solomon was on the scene shortly after it touched down. He has been back out here all day to give us a look at some of the cleanup and recovery efforts that are now underway. I want to go to him now live. Richard, give us an idea of where you are and what you're seeing right now.
Well, Chris, I mean, you'll see everything behind me. This pretty much explains what is happening in so many parts of the city right now, including where we're at. This was some of the damage. We're getting a better look at some of the damage caused by that EF-3 tornado that tore through this area yesterday. I mean, just look at this. What you'll see behind me right now, crews are working to clear out some of the debris. I mean, debris is scattered all across this place. It looks like it was just tossed in any direction that the tornado wanted to toss it into. And what's crazy is the further down you look, the more damage you see, Chris. But most importantly, like you said, I want to emphasize it again, no one died and everyone, is accounted for. Officials are still asking people to stay out of these areas. Obvious reasons, they're too dangerous. I mean, we saw nails just spewed all over the place. Right now, Encore crews, they are working to make sure that things aren't hazardous. City officials say they want people to stay out and until they are able to make sure areas are safe. Once they move away some of this debris, that's when folks can start flushing into these areas again. But I want to make note of this. This, Chris, this was an Army Bear. We spoke with the owner, Macy Nix. She and her family own this. They own several rental properties throughout town. I mean, just look at this. This has been here for 40, maybe 60 years almost, and now it was just leveled by that tornado. And she told us the plan for these buildings were to turn them into housing eventually. Take a listen.
These were vacant buildings. They're historic buildings, but they were vacant, and I'm glad that it was not, for me, buildings that people were in.
And again, she told me she and her family owned several properties across the city. There were so many people displaced in this storm. They were able to put some of those folks in some of the houses that they have until they are able to figure out a better plan of what's next. But obviously, that is going to be a while, and this community has a long road ahead. But we do know from city officials there will be another curfew put in place tonight. That curfew will start at 8 p.m. and run through 6 in the morning. So we'll stay out here, we'll bring you the latest coverage, and we'll see you back out here at 6. But now, Chris, I want to send it back to you.
Okay, and Richard, I just want to piggyback and follow up on something you just mentioned. All the agencies that are stepping up to help these folks. The Red Cross is here. They have set up a center at the Mineral Wells First Baptist Church. It can be whether you're displaced or maybe you weren't displaced, but you've been out here all day, you're dead tired, you've been working, trying to clear debris all day. They have a place for you to rest and recover. They are also accepting donations up the road at the Mineral Wells, what is it? It's the Center of Life, the Mineral Wells Center of Life. So if you have anything that you could donate that can help people kind of get back on their feet a little bit faster and you're in the area, please drop it off at the Mineral Wells Center of Life. We'll be out here on the scene. We'll have more reports coming up here in the 5 and 6 o'clock hour. For now, Jason, I'll send it back to you.
Chris, thank you. That damage is just stunning that you're standing in and that you and Richard both showed us out there. It is remarkable, though, what a lot of warning and these live broadcasts yesterday can do as far as saving lives and keeping any loss of life from happening. Just really remarkable considering what we're seeing out there. Really appreciate it. We'll look for more later.
His position was making me nervous where he was standing. He looks like
there's just so much
debris
out there. So you were here yesterday during all of this, and boy, it wasn't just homes and businesses and so forth taking this. You were seeing so many accidents popping up all around North Texas as well. People were trying to, get out of the way before these storms hit, but in a lot of cases, they ended up, stuck out there in it with these accidents.
Right. It was a tough evening commute for sure. You had a number of accidents right before it hit, like you talked about, and then while it was going on, people were rushing, trying to still continue to beat it, and then you just saw that the amount of accidents jump up.
It's hard to outrun it sometimes. Today's
Yes.
probably a lot better, I would imagine.
Right.
I
Well,
hope.
we've got a couple major problems.
Okay.
Just 2 major problems to let you know about, but they're pretty big ones. Just starting in the southern portion of Tarrant County, just north of Burleson, we've got this accident that we've been watching for a while, and it has shut down I-35W. So this stretch of purple on your map, you can see it goes basically to the tail end of Tarrant County, and then we're looking at it from our Garden Acres camera. This happened around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we're going on a couple hours now. And you might notice that the other side, the southbound side, is slow moving too. So you've got slow traffic northbound and southbound from I-20 to the very edge of Tarrant County right there in Burleson. We'll let you know when this clears. Another problem that we're watching, this is out in Rockwell County in Fate. I talk about Fate a lot. We have a lot of accidents here, unfortunately. They only have a couple lanes open each direction, so it doesn't take much to cause a backup there. And both of those lanes on the westbound side at FM 551, those are currently closed. Traffic is backed up past Roy City, and that is causing a lot of slow-moving traffic there. Hey, good news is we did have accidents this afternoon with all of this wet weather we got, but that's moved through, continuing east. Your roads are drying out, but you still have your afternoon rush hour, early evening rush hour to look out for, and those 2 spots that I just mentioned, don't get stuck in that traffic. Jason?